Haley said, I love this album. I think you're so brave and so cool and so raw.
There's things that I can't change, Lord knows I tried. Oh baby, we can leave it all behind.
All the same. And people need to hear that watching, you know what I mean? Like someone's probably struggling with their own self-image of like, am I ever gonna, you know, am I worthy of love? Like, and God says you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. Jesus says that, and I really believe him.
You and Nick came to my birthday party and y'all were the only two dressed up.
Yo, they say, yo, he had a theme party along me.
But no one told me
That it was themed.
that it was themed. And so Kyle was like he was like telling everyone like, yo,
Everybody.
Tay, make sure you're dressed up.
I get to
And
the
I didn't even dress up. No one dressed up.
dressed up but me. I
It was
had-
just him and Nick.
That's it.
And they both have like full
Wait, which
wigs,
one?
full
What?
outfits,
Yeah.
and everyone's there.
Everyone's like this.
When Justin Bieber suddenly showed up live on Twitch, people didn't know what to think. Some viewers thought it was a joke because he didn't make any kind of announcement. There was no hype, no media push, nothing. He just appeared on screen like a regular guy sitting at home. He wasn't teasing music, he wasn't launching a project, and he wasn't preparing fans for anything big. He was eating on camera, playing a few chords, and chatting with random viewers who happened to join the stream. For someone who usually keeps his private life behind a wall, the whole thing felt unusual. Clips started spreading across TikTok and X within minutes. People were surprised at how relaxed he seemed. His tone was softer, and at times, he almost looked shy. Fans compared it to his early days when he uploaded homemade videos to YouTube before fame took over his life. A lot of viewers felt like they were watching a quieter, older version of the kid they remembered. Others wondered if there was something deeper behind the change. People online began forming theories about his sudden interest in streaming. Some believed he was bored at home and wanted a new way to pass the time. Some thought he was trying to reconnect with fans in a simple way without concerts or interviews. And then there were those who believed he might be using Twitch as a low-pressure source of income, something he could do on his own terms. The more he streamed, the more people paid attention to every little thing he said or did. Even small pauses during his stories became topics of discussion. While plenty of viewers enjoyed watching him laugh, play around on guitar, and act like a normal person, others insisted that these streams would eventually reveal something bigger going on behind the scenes. That prediction didn't take long to come true. In the middle of one casual stream, Justin started talking about the day his son Jack was born. No one expected the conversation to shift in that direction, and even fewer expected what he shared next. What began as a sweet memory turned into one of the most surprising stories he had ever told in public. He explained that during Haley's labor, they had hired a doula to help keep things calm and supportive. Instead of feeling helpful, the situation took a strange turn. Justin said he didn't get along with the doula at all. In his view, she stepped in too much and made him feel like he didn't matter during a moment that meant everything to him. Things got so tense that he ended up telling her to get lost right in the delivery room. The chat lit up instantly. Some viewers burst out laughing, others felt awkward for him, and many wondered why he would talk about something so private in front of thousands of people. Anyone listening could imagine Haley somewhere off camera shaking her head, hoping he wouldn't reveal too much. Justin explained that after things cooled down, Haley told him he needed to apologize because the argument had only added stress. He admitted he was overwhelmed and emotional. All he wanted was to be part of the moment and feel connected as a new father. Fans reacted in different ways. Some understood why he felt protective and emotional. Others pointed out that the doula was hired to help and that she was only doing her job. But the way Justin explained it, honest, unfiltered, and unplanned, gave people a peek into their relationship in a way no interview ever had. That story marked a shift in his streams. It showed that Justin wasn't just hanging out online for fun. He was speaking in a way that wasn't edited or controlled by a team. People felt like they were seeing the real person behind the famous name. And not long after, he began touching on even more personal topics. Money, loyalty, trust, and the people he felt had taken advantage of him started becoming part of his conversations. Once that birth story went viral, each new stream drew even more attention. Fans and non-fans alike started asking a question that kept coming up. Why is Justin spending so much time on Twitch? He obviously doesn't need the platform to stay famous. And he rarely goes online this often. That question grew stronger because rumors about his finances had been floating around for months. Some entertainment sites claimed he had fired people from his business team after discovering problems with money. Others hinted that large sums had disappeared, forcing him to rebuild his entire setup. None of it was confirmed, but the timing made people suspicious. Justin became more public just as those stories were spreading. In one stream, he talked about people in his life who had used him for money. He didn't mention any names, but the comments were enough for longtime fans to connect the situation to someone who had been deeply involved in his career, Scooter Braun. Scooter discovered Justin as a kid, managed him for years, and helped turn him into a global star. So when their partnership ended quietly without a statement, people knew something serious had happened. That's why Justin's comments about being pushed around and treated like a product hit hard. He said he reached a point where he refused to let anyone walk over him just because they helped him earn money. The line was simple.
10-year anniversary of the Purpose album. If you're watching, we love you guys. We're glad you're tuning in.
Walk up and start hugging.
Yeah, I always wanted a kid who wasn't like super shy and like didn't want to go to people and stuff, but he's like super like personable.
But the meaning behind it was clear to those who followed his story. People took it as a sign that Justin was stepping away from the old systems that controlled his work and making choices for himself for the first time. Even with that shift, the rumors about his finances didn't go away. Some believed he turned to Twitch as a way to create a new income stream that didn't depend on tours or labels. Others thought he just wanted something easy and honest after years of pressure. Whatever the truth is, the stream showed a version of Justin that wasn't filtered through a manager. And even though he didn't mention Scooter directly, the internet wouldn't let the topic go. Fans remembered how close they used to be. Scooter wasn't just a manager, he felt like part of Justin's world. Their sudden distance said more than any statement could. During a late-night stream, Justin said he was done dealing with people who acted like they cared, but only showed up when it helped them. That one sentence sent social media running wild again. Many believed he was talking about that old partnership and how it affected him over the years. As fans tried to figure out what direction Justin was heading toward, he dropped a piece of information that shocked everyone. He said his only performance next year would be at Coachella. Just one show. That surprised many people because Justin used to perform in sold-out stadiums across the world. One single show felt small compared to his usual schedule. He talked about how he wanted to mix his older hits with newer tracks, turning the whole thing into one big performance. There was a spark in the way he described singing under the open desert sky, almost like he was thinking back to the early days when he performed just for fun. He even mentioned having a place near the festival grounds, calling it one of the spots where he feels the most relaxed. It was clear that Coachella meant more to him than just another show. That small moment of joy didn't last long, though. A little later, Justin accidentally created one of the most talked about clips of his entire streaming journey, and it had nothing to do with music. It happened the day his physical therapist appeared on camera. At first, the stream was normal. He played some chords, laughed with friends, and chatted casually. Then his physical therapist stepped into the frame to adjust his posture. The way she stood close to him and placed her hand on his back made the chat explode. Comments flooded in so fast he couldn't keep up. Some viewers claimed the interaction felt too cozy, while others joked that the therapist was getting a little too comfortable. Within minutes, that short clip was everywhere. On TikTok, people stitched the moment with reactions like, "If I were Haley, I'd lose it," and "That's not just therapy." But many fans pushed back, reminding everyone that the woman was Dr. Jocelyn Miranda, a well-known chiropractor who had worked with both Justin and Haley for years. She wasn't a stranger. She wasn't crossing lines. She was literally doing her job. But the internet had already made up its mind. To some people, it hinted at trouble in his marriage. Others thought it showed how his new streaming lifestyle was letting private moments slip into public space. The noise grew so loud that fans even tagged Haley, demanding her reaction, though she didn't say a thing. Justin didn't address the drama directly, but his next few streams felt different. He avoided showing too much of the room, kept the camera tight on his face, and joked that he needed better angles. It was obvious he'd seen the viral moment and wasn't eager to repeat it. What made the situation interesting wasn't the clip itself. It was how fast everything spiraled. In the past, Justin's team would have stepped in before a moment like that ever turned into gossip. But Twitch was unfiltered. There was no editing, no PR team stopping him, no delay button. It was just him, a camera, and millions of people analyzing his every move. That moment showed that Twitch Justin came with risks. As open as he was becoming, some parts of his life weren't meant to be shared so casually. But behind the chaos, something bigger was happening. Justin wasn't just streaming for fun anymore, he was slowly taking control of his own public story. By mid-2025, his channel had turned into something far bigger than anyone expected. What began as a place for him to unwind grew into a direct line between him and his audience. No interviews, no staged magazine features, just raw interaction. And people loved it. His streams regularly hit millions of views once the clips spread on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Fans noticed a shift in how he talked. He wasn't polished or guarded, he joked about himself, forgot what he was saying mid-sentence, played songs he barely remembered, and sometimes just sat quietly thinking. Instead of scolding him, viewers felt closer to him. After years of seeing him distant and careful, this version felt more like the guy who posted YouTube covers as a teen. But this freedom came with changes behind the scenes. Earlier that year, he had removed several people from his management circle. Close sources said he wanted fewer voices in his ear and more control over how he connected with people. Even Haley was supportive, though she worried the lack of a filter might drag him into unnecessary drama, which the therapist incident had proven. Still, Justin stayed committed. In one stream, he said something that fans quoted everywhere. "I used to feel like I was being managed more than I was living. This feels like mine." It was a small line, but people felt it. For years, his life had been built around schedules, tour plans, and decisions made by teams around him. On Twitch, none of that mattered. He could sing an unfinished song, talk about anxiety, or vanish midstream. The freedom was part of the appeal, and the numbers backed it up. Stream Charts reported in June 2025 that Justin ranked among the top 20 most watched musicians on Twitch, pulling in around 200,000 viewers per stream. Most surprising was that around 60% of viewers were aged 18 to 25. Many weren't the fans who grew up with his earliest music. His approach to music changed too. Instead of focusing on a full label-backed project, he started teasing songs he'd made independently at home. One night, he played a rough guitar demo live, and fans lost their minds. Clips spread everywhere with people calling it his strongest work in years, and he hadn't even recorded it officially. Listeners weren't asking for perfection anymore. They just wanted something honest. The big question was what this meant for his future. Was this his new artistic home, or just a stepping stone towards something else? Even he didn't seem sure. But he finally looked like someone steering his own ship, not someone being pushed by a machine. Everything shifted again as Coachella grew closer. Justin went quiet for weeks. Streams stopped. Social media went still. Fans wondered if he'd pulled out of the festival. Then, out of nowhere, he went live one night in March. No build-up, just a soft yo and some casual guitar strumming. He didn't talk much about the festival, but behind him was a whiteboard with April 12 scribbled on it, along with little notes about his set. When someone asked if he was nervous, he replied with a small laugh, saying, "Nah, just ready, this one's for me." The clip went everywhere. Fans said it proved he wasn't performing for fame. He was performing because he wanted to. When April arrived, the excitement was huge. Coachella confirmed Justin for the second weekend, and tickets for that day sold out almost instantly. People were curious. Would he bring a full production, or would it be simple? On the night of the show, the crowd packed in tight. The lights dimmed, and Justin stepped out wearing a plain white tee, jeans, and a cap. No dancers, no fireworks, just him, a stool, and a guitar. He opened with Ghost, and the reaction was explosive. His voice shook at first, then steadied as he relaxed. The whole performance felt personal, like he was singing to himself as much as to the crowd. He played acoustic versions of his biggest songs, including Baby, which he performed with a small grin. Midway through, he introduced a new track called Halfway Home. He explained that he'd written it on a sleepless night, trying to understand what peace meant. The crowd went silent as he sang lines about growing older, letting go, and realizing that fame isn't medicine. By the next morning, the song spread across social media. Fans said it was the most genuine piece of music he'd made in years. Critics agreed, calling the set one of his strongest performances ever. Haley was in the audience, and cameras caught her wiping tears during Halfway Home. It didn't look staged. It looked real. When the show ended, he simply said, "Thank you for still being here," waved and walked off. No extra flair, just a quiet exit. That night felt different. It wasn't a comeback. It wasn't a publicity move. It was a reset. After years of rumor-filled headlines and pressure, Justin finally looked like someone telling his own story again, on his own terms.